Let's go. Let's see.
Such a nice guy, but because he knew that Luffy was a D, he was actually incredibly disappointed when Luffy beat Doflamingo, and his name, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, holds the key to the shockingly important role that Law still has to play in the story. If, just like me, you've also always struggled to fully understand Law's thoughts and objectives, and why the hell he's actually still around even after taking down his sworn enemy, today I will unravel everything you
I like this. I be thinking like this dude, man. I want to meet this dude. I'm gonna hit him up for an interview. Fuck it.
The thing that intrigued me the most about Trafalgar Law when he was first introduced early on in the story was how hard it was to read his thoughts and actions.
Exactly.
On Sabaody, we meet him as this pretty messed up guy in hippie clothes that has fun tormenting his enemies, always with a smirk on his face, which I found immediately intriguing.
Yeah, he's one of the coolest characters from the beginning.
After the time skip, however, I was surprised to see that he seemingly had completely lost this chaotic side of him and now felt a lot more serious, always thinking things through and worrying about things that might go wrong. Finally, after dethroning Doflamingo,
that's my thing too. Like he showed up like he said he was introduced playing with dudes' heads, like he was dismembering motherfuckers left and right. So he off rip he became a fan favorite. I think that's why I think Sabaody is my favorite arc of One Piece. Right? I feel like it opened up the world. To me, like I know you guys, a lot of you guys say Enies Lobby or Sky Peak, but I feel like what Sabaody did for the overall story of One Piece, I think in terms of the anime, the overall story, I think it did more for me than any other arc, right? Especially with Kuma coming around, separating everybody, you know. Can you turn what up? So yeah, that's why I really like Sabaody, but like he said. Law is introduced, smiling all the time. Now Law is very calculated. Gorilla Stalker, thank you for 5 gifted subs. You that homie, bro. What was I gonna say? So yeah, now he's more serious, more calculated, right? Like Law is completely different, especially as you see him in Wano, right? Like He's on his own. He finds a poneglyph. You know what I'm saying? Like by his own. Well, what is he doing? Fabiomo, thanks for the gifted sub. It's like Laws. That's why I feel like even from the beginning, I feel like his motives aren't clear. Although his motive, I think, is still a good one. Is that he hasn't completely played his cards yet. Although he has full belief in Luffy and the Straw Hats and what Luffy can do and how he's meant to like be this savior that the world had promised to some or whatever the case may be. I think we just don't know 100% what Law's involvement in the story really is.
It was really heartwarming for me to see him grow closer and closer with the Straw Hats, slowly dropping his serious, intense manner and fully
to me he's a Straw Hat. I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Subscribing to Luffy's way of handling things. Now, what at first glance seems to be an inconsistency with his character turned out to be one of the best character arcs we've gotten in the story. Law's backstory and his personal history
between him and Robin, they have like the best flashbacks in the story so far.
Doflamingo and Corazon is one of my all-time.
Come on, bro, Corazon, man. What's this guy saying?
Favorite flashbacks that I actually dedicated a whole video to. The flashback is structured just like the backstories of all the Straw Hats: death, tragedy, and something that Luffy has to free them from. In the case of Law, that thing is his obsession with Doflamingo. After being saved and loved by Corazon, who tells him about the will of D, Law believes that he must inherit his savior's will to take down Doflamingo for the threat he poses to the world.
弟として兄ドフィーの暴走を止めることだ。
I think something that's quite easy to overlook is that Law believes that Corazon saved him only because he revealed his middle name to him. And as a result, he tries to pay this kindness back by dedicating his whole life to revenge. This obsession is further fueled because Law blames himself for the death of his loved ones. He believes himself to be a failure, which might sound weird to Western fans who I think generally see Law as a pretty damn accomplished character. However, what living in Japan has taught me is that this strong theme of brothers in Dressrosa is not by accident. We of course have this for Luffy and Sabo, who reunite over their shared goal to retrieve Ace's devil fruit.
I like how they always, when I watch his videos, he breaks down that, you know, there's a lot of themes that kind of go unnoticed, like this brother theme, and I really can't wait to hear a little more what he's saying. Because these are the kind of things that, like, these underlying themes and stories, that what kind of intrigues me the most, right? Like, those are my favorite things in storytelling, period. The stuff that isn't normally easily picked up.
But for Law, it's particularly important. See, here in Japan, the relationship between older and younger sibling is somewhat sacred. You should always respect your older brother under any circumstances, but it's always his duty to protect his younger siblings. Which is, for instance, why Ace's death was so extremely meaningful. Law, however, despite training to be a doctor, is unable to save his little sister.
Damn,
we get this
right.
heartbreaking scene where he has the exact same reaction as Luffy when she dies.
Whoa! The face is almost identical, right? Like, it just happened to Law way earlier. And I wonder if this is like something that the people of D are set to go through, or maybe like, because I feel like when it comes to this Joy Boy thing, maybe there's multiple of them that were promised and destined. You know, maybe it's Law and Luffy, and not just Luffy. You know what I'm saying?
Similarly, he can't protect the other orphans, and I would even go so far as to say that he blames himself for Corazon's death as well. See, it never occurred to Law, nor to any Japanese reader I assume, that Doflamingo would do the unthinkable thing and actually kill his younger sibling. And so, in a sense, Law as an older brother once again had to lose a younger sibling he loved.
That's crazy to me too, because you know, I myself has been like, I respect Doflamingo as a villain. I think he's definitely a great one, but like, as he puts it in the perspective of the Japanese people, their role to like their older brothers and younger brothers. Although like I have an older brother, I know what it means to have an older brother and want to protect them, or you know, stuff like that. I know that killing your brother is wrong, right? But I feel like he's building more meaning to it. And as a culture, maybe what Doflamingo did to his overall family just impacted maybe Japanese people as a whole more than it did maybe here in the United States. Because I see Doflamingo as like, okay, he's a villain. He killed his dad, he kills his brother. But like, as far as what it means to like actually do that, I guess that it makes him seem more villainous to me, you know. Like, it was meant to. I mean, although he killed his brother and his dad, that's really a bad thing. So I don't know.
I hope that this helps you realize why Dressrosa was even more important to Eastern fans than it already was, and why Law is even more popular among fans there. Now, of course, Law as a helpless and traumatized boy is not to blame for any of these, but it didn't change the fact that he always felt guilty about it. In Law's mind, taking down Doflamingo and fulfilling Corazon's mission was the only way he could remedy himself from this guilt. And so, up until Sabaody, just like Luffy and the other Supernova, he's mostly focusing on getting stronger. And so the Law we meet at the auction house is simply enjoying how much closer he's gotten to Dofi in terms of strength. After the war, however, things change. Law realizes that the new era is coming now, and with it, his chance to make a move. So he decides to save Luffy, the person who he saw punching a celestial dragon and becoming the center of attention at Marineford, because he sees someone else who's capable of fulfilling Corazon's hopes for the D-Clan. And so after...
Okay, because Law already knows about the people of D at this moment, even when he saves Luffy. And I remember even when in Dressrosa, Law tells Doflamingo, like, yo, you have, like, even if you defeat me, you stand no chance against Straw Hat. You know, Straw Hat punched the Celestial Dragon. He's done this, he's done that. He, you know, it goes into a flashback of all the things he's done. Like, he's meant to take you down, and it goes into like the beginning theme of Dressrosa, where they bring up the will of D and how the people of D are meant to oppose the gods, being the Celestial Dragons in this case. So if Law knew that, alright, if this is Luffy, he's already done these remarkable things as a person of D, I have to align myself with this person if I believe in Corazon's mission. So I never thought of it like that, but seeing how he broke it down, it makes sense to me like that way.
After he spends 2 years planning his move on Doflamingo, he doesn't hesitate to team up with Luffy once they cross paths once again on Punk Hazard, completely by accident, by the way. Law very quickly understands, though, that without Luffy, his plan would already have failed right here on Punk Hazard, and more is taken in by Luffy's ability to master any situation, no matter how impossible it may seem. And so, after being taken out by Dofi and having to leave the fight he was waiting for his entire life to Luffy, he even says that in the case that Luffy should lose and die, he wanted to die next to him. At this point, Law fully trusts and respects our captain. And yet, when Luffy finally defeats Dofi after what feels like 12,473 episodes, when all citizens of Dressrosa are swept away by tears of joy and relief, this is the reaction we get from Law. Now, at first I thought that Law simply had to process what had happened, but this is pretty much the only reaction we ever get from him. Even though his big goal has finally been achieved, he still doesn't feel free and fulfilled. The weight on his shoulders is somehow still there. And I think it's this why so many people are confused about Law's character arc. The true resolution to his past, where he can finally embrace Luffy's deed and come back into the light, is a much smaller moment during the epilogue of Dressrosa. But first, I quickly want to introduce you to Squarespace, who is the sponsor. Now, the moment I'm talking about is this small interaction Law has with Sengoku, the former fleet admiral who had been Corazon's supervisor within the Marines.
And for those that just tuning in for the reading, we're just watching a quick breakdown video from the homie Ohara on YouTube on why Law actually saved Luffy at Marineford. If you guys don't know, I have been reacting to some of these breakdown videos on my stream, so check out, sign up to our Discord. There's a Wellz stream channel that you guys can access and send me videos that I can react to on the stream. Right after I finish with this, we're gonna jump into the reading because we got a lot to bang out today, man.
Now, what both Sengoku and I realized in this moment is the fact that Law has always assumed that he had been saved for being a D, an enemy of the gods with high expectations in him to fulfill his role. The beauty of this scene is how Sengoku breaks Law's worldview with one sentence and frees him from his past. And so it's these two panels here that actually mark the conclusion of Law's character arc and the end of his suffering. Oda's subtle genius. Okay, so Law's arc is over now, right? He has done what he set out to do and even found peace by embracing the unconditional love that Corazon had for him. So why exactly is Law still there? What is his purpose in the story and what goal does he have now? Three common theories I see popping up a lot are that A. Law will betray Luffy and go for the One Piece itself, B. that Law is actually a member of the secret marine organization SWORD, or C. that Law will sacrifice himself to perform the immortality surgery on Luffy.
That's the most popular one.
I don't think it's gonna be either of the three. Okay, so Law could betray Luffy based on the idea that pirate alliances always end in betrayal, but given...
Which is something they teased upon him teaming up with Law. It's like that Law was going to betray him. I don't think that's the case. And if that is the case, bro, that is probably going to be the biggest betrayal in anime history, my nigga. Especially considering how much they made us love Law. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, that'll be a hell of a story.
Given the fact that Law was not only freed from his burden by Luffy, but also was prepared to die with him, kinda tells me that this doesn't make too much sense. The whole point of Law's arc was to show how kind he actually is at heart. So, as long as Oda doesn't pull another Kanjuro, I'm gonna say with confidence that this
because I'm thinking Kanjuro, but Kanjuro, he wasn't so essential to the story. Yeah, we were looking for him, but in terms of like who he is as a character, we never got to really learn until later on when he betrayed us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't want to draw that parallel between them two, because I don't like, as of right now, Law is a very beloved character. We've seen his backstory of Corazon, and yeah, I don't think he's capable of a betrayal, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Happen. Now, the sword thing, on the other hand, could be true, especially given that Corazon was a marine spy as well. Drake, for example, has infiltrated Kaido's crew, and if Aokiji is also a member of the group, he has infiltrated Blackbeard. Now, Law has mostly been just traveling with his own crew, but I guess you could argue that he technically infiltrated the Straw Hats. However, to be honest, I don't quite see the point of it.
Yeah,
Law
me either.
is already a fully fleshed out and interesting character. Plus, he's a devoted D, who are the enemies of the Celestial Dragons. But it's possible, I guess. Now, while I think...
Like, if he was a part of the Marines and he'll end up being... Well, nah, because I don't even think... Because Cody is what Garp was what Garp was to Gold Roger. Because I feel like they like to draw those kind of parallels, too. So I really don't think Law could be a Marine...
I think that Law might very well die at some point and use his ability on someone else, maybe. I don't think it'll be Luffy. Here's why. Luffy's goal is to find the One Piece with his friends. Otherwise, it'll not be worth it. I mean, in some way or form, becoming Pirate King is only a tool for Luffy, a milestone to fulfill a bigger dream that doesn't just include himself. So if Law were to sacrifice himself for him, even without Luffy's permission, it would taint his journey. Remember, Luffy didn't want to hear anything that Rayleigh knew.
And that's something that I brought up to you guys on the stream last time, and you guys was like, yeah, he wouldn't, Luffy wouldn't want it, he wouldn't want that. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you guys. I don't think Law, although it's convenient for Law to sacrifice himself for that, blah, 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 but I don't think it would be for Luffy. I think it would be for somebody like Robin or something like that, where they might need her. But now, come to think of it, I don't think they even need Robin. I mean, they do, but like, the Kazuki clan could also read the poneglyphs, no? So, I don't know.
And he detests people who use others as tools, like how Big Mom used her daughter for political alliances. So I can easily imagine a scene where Law tries to sacrifice himself, but Luffy stops him, similarly to how he stopped Sanji and Robin from sacrificing themselves for him as well. Also remember
I
that
want to
until
live.
dark, Zoro, Sanji, and Robin knew that Luffy must never know about Zoro almost dying by sacrificing himself. So Ohara, you might say now, what will Law do then? I personally think that Law
The Kazuki clan, Momonosuke is still alive. That nigga's still alive, bro. The people, can the people at Sky P read that shit too? Cause that shit's written all over their city.
now has a new goal and will loyally fight side by side with Luffy till the very end. And this goal is to find the true meaning behind the D clan and the will of D. He has been obsessed with it his entire life, and now finally with Luffy has found someone that actually acts in exactly the way Corazon explained it to him. He was there after all, both when Luffy punched Charlos and when Luffy punched Doflamingo. And so I think that Law is simply interested in reaching Laugh Tale, not to become Pirate King, but to learn the true history, something we see him discussing with Robin. And when you think about it, Law actually has the most unsuitable crew compared to most other Supernova to reach Laugh Tale.
That's fact.
He even sent them away just before carrying out his master plan against...
Hey, you know what's crazy about Law's crew? Is that they seem to be the most like Marines. Like, you know how they draw Marines? Like they have similar drawings to those niggas. Like some regular niggas in the same outfits and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in Sword, although I don't hope that he is. Like, yeah, Law's crew is real trash, bro. Besides Beppo.
Luffy. His men seem to be more a crew of doctors than of fighters, and I think that's what their role is gonna be for the rest of the story. In other words, now that Law doesn't feel obligated to be a good D anymore, he has freely chosen the goal to become one by following the man he now believes can actually become Pirate King.
This is the flashback I was talking about in Dressrosa.
And now we get into the spicy stuff. Because interestingly enough, Oda might have already told us what Law's role will be based on his naming scheme. Law unites a lot of references to British seafaring. As Oda stated himself, Law was inspired in part by the real-life 18th century pirate Edward Lowe, who was known for his cruelty, like cutting off enemy body parts. He had a deprived childhood, surviving by stealing, and was brought up by a family of criminals. Sound familiar? So basically, Oda took this real-life pirate and gave him a twist. Law is rumored to be cruel, but actually is not. Plus, he actually cuts up people, but only using his devil fruit ability. There are a lot more British influences though. The White City in the North Blue, where Law was born, is most likely inspired by the White City in London in Northern Europe, which is famous for hosting the Japanese-British exhibition. Law literally sails on a yellow submarine, a homage to the famous song by the Beatles. However, it's Law's name itself that has the most clues. In Japanese, Trafalgar is actually spelled Torafaruga, with Luffy actually calling him Tora. And Tora literally means tiger, keeping Law in line with the animal theme of the warlords. Now, the other two major clues in his name are again Trafalgar as well as water, because in Japanese the combination of the taboo name water, Wateru, and his given name Law, Ro, form the word Waterloo, Wateru. Now, the Battle of Trafalgar and the Battle of Waterloo are two of the most famous battles in history, fought in the same war that led to the downfall of Emperor Napoleon.
Wow.
During the Battle of Trafalgar off the coast of Spain, the British were led to victory by the strategy of naval hero Horatio Nelson, who not only had lost an arm, but was also shot during the battle. Waterloo, on the other hand...
What the hell? Law also lost the arm and was shot during the fight with Doflamingo. So Law's gonna play a crucial... I mean, we already know this, but he's gonna play a crucial role in taking down the people in charge now, which is Celestial Dragons and the current government.
And became famous as the downfall of Emperor Napoleon. In this sense, the Battle of Trafalgar and Nelson wounds would represent Dressrosa, which is also inspired by Spain. Waterloo
Okay, so these battles already happened.
Represent Wano and the end of the Emperor, in this case Kaido, which was enabled by the previous battles. Now, of course, Law is one of these central figures fighting in Wano right now, and it will be interesting to see what will happen to him after that battle is won. There has always been a strong theme of death surrounding his character. The Sergeant of Death, his Devil Fruit ability, the Death number 4 in Japanese with his 4 names and his bounty of 440 million. There's a ton. So Law might actually very well die, but I would personally prefer to see him become the happy and free person that Corazon originally wanted him to become. And actually, you can watch his analysis.
And you know why I think he is very capable of dying because he doesn't. In order to become this person, this loving, free person that Corazon wanted, doesn't mean that you necessarily have to live. You know what I'm saying? I think he can, like Ohara already explained, that Law's character arc has already been fulfilled. He's already come to terms with his past, right? This vengeance that he had for a long time has been solved with what happened in Dressrosa. So I feel like this time that he's been traveling with Luffy, fighting on the right side of history, I feel like that's him kind of living out the fact that, you know, he is happy. He is living through what Corazon wanted him to be. So I feel like he can die happy. He can die happy in that case. So I think he will die eventually. I just don't think he'll die anytime soon.